The only way I knew it wasn't hers was Dylan was like, "This isn't Candace's car," and I was like,
Can you
"Yeah,
hear it
it
or
is."
no?
I can
No, and
hear
I
it,
was like,
yeah.
"Yes, I stole someone's car. Can you go tell them the do not enter way, but only because someone else did?" She was like, "Oh, it's fine." She's laughing. I was like, "I'll laugh about it
I
tomorrow."
think we're live on
She's
YouTube,
like,
so
"I'm so sorry. I'll be back."
Okay.
all right. We don't want to spoil the fun for the YouTubers.
Okay. So we're streaming on YouTube.
Yes.
Oh. Should we do introductions?
Yeah, probably. I'm trying to make sure it's going on YouTube. Is it is it working? We should be pinned. Okay, I'm gonna try on my phone.
Here, I'll
You
pull it
know.
up.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah, I see you crafting. So I think it's switching between our. Oh, it's switching to me because I was
because
speaking.
you're talking.
Yeah. I might have to use the phone or the audio on my phone. Ugh. All right. Give me a second. I'll switch the audio. Dang, because I have my nice microphone set up on the computer.
Mm,
Oh well. These are the things we learn. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're learning things. We learn as we go. Okay. All right, Joshy. Can you hear me?
yep. Sorry, I muted myself so that it wasn't just me breathing.
Oh.
I do appreciate the super official label of your lamp.
So I did that at Bay Mills Powwow.
Oh, was someone trying to buy it?
No, I left it at the committee table for you guys. Because that was the year
Oh,
Beading had
yes.
the
That's
the
right.
Bay Mills Hot Pocket sample. I forget
Yeah,
what you call it.
the silt's gone.
Build's gone. Yeah. And then and then
That's right.
you guys were like, "Oh, this is really great for holding the whatever was happening." And then I was
Oh,
like, "Well,
for the Facebook Live, I think.
yeah." I was like, "Well, you can borrow it, but I need it back when I leave." So I grabbed some masking tape and then wrote that on there real quick. So
The rest is history.
it is indeed. Okay, now that, I think we've figured out our little glitchiness. Yeah, so they can see us crafting, I think. Um, Mine's turned around. Yeah, I guess we can introduce ourselves to the people.
Okay.
Just get my face on here real quick.
I'll
Um,
turn.
I'm Ellie Mitchell. I'm the BeadKwe, and this is Beading with the BeadKwe. Yeah. So, welcome to it. And Joshy and I have been talking about doing this for like literally years, and finally broke down and decided to do it. So we're gonna craft. You're not gonna see us, and tell stories. Oh, I should turn on closed captioning for
I do
accessible.
I have my camera turned on just for my introduction, and then I'm going to turn my camera off. But everybody, my name's Josh Hudson, Joshua Hudson. I am from Bay Mills Indian community, but I was raised in Central Michigan among the Saginaw Chippewa community, and that's how Ellie and I, the BeadKwe, have such a long and storied history. And I'm not beading. I might bead later, we'll see, but I'm planning on finger weaving for now.
Yeah, so I didn't mention in my very quick introduction, I'm Ellie Mitchell. I'm Eagle Clan. I'm a member of the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe of Michigan, and I'm the owner of Bead and Power Supply. So just kind of skip through that, but yeah, we're just hanging out. I'm actually going to well, I'm going to work on this piece is a project for the All Michigan Shop Pop. You can see I've already started, but first I'm going to go through a shipment we got today that I wanted to get done before I went home today and make sure everything's in the shipment. So I'm going to lay that out on the table while Joshy and I are talking, and you can see some of the stuff we have coming in, and then I'll get that packing slip checked, and then I'll start beading. So Josh,
Yes.
I said I was gonna write an agenda and I didn't because life.
It happens. Well, so one of the more pressing um, reasons that spurred you to schedule me was I had a story recently. So let me work out my technical things while I get to. Okay, I think I know how to. So I will. Oh no. Don't have it figured out. Apologies.
Listen, if you're
Oh,
watching this and you're like, wow, these guys are really old school, this is like the original version of YouTube, you are correct. We are two little res kids figuring this out as we go. We do not have a team. I'm the only one in the shop right now besides my dog. So like if a customer comes in, I'm gonna have to help them. So and that
mm.
was my dog shaking. I don't know if you can hear that, but
Well, and then in the background, you'll surely hear Tabitha. Um, she's going to insert and bark.
the little yipper, yeah, Sparky's looking at me like, there's nobody in here, Mom. Who are you talking to?
Well, Sparky's looking for me because he misses me.
Probably. You should come visit us more.
I should. Oh no. Okay, so
The only way I knew it wasn't hers was Dylan was like, "This isn't Candace's car," and I was like, "Yeah, it is." No. And then I was like, "Candace, I stole someone's car. Can you go tell them the do not enter way, but only because someone else did?" She was like, "Oh, "It's fine." She's laughing. I was like, "I'll laugh about it tomorrow." She's like, "I'm so sorry. I'll be better." So.
Craig goes. Craig came into my office and he goes. They were reviewing the tapes and they were like, he's walking pretty confidently for someone who stole a car.
Never. She told me that, and I was like, "Yeah, I did. I jumped in like I was meant to be."
okay, so that was the video. So to give further context, um, this was the day before Bay Mills Community College's graduation that we just had I think it was a week or two ago.
I guess
This,
some more context would be Josh works for Bay Mills Community College, which is a tribal college, the first tribal college in Michigan, yes?
it was one of the first. It was I know in my research, it was the first accredited tribal college in the state.
Okay. So this is
Um,
where, so keep that in mind. He's at work.
and we're trying to continue and finish preparations for graduation, which is the next day. And the week before, the local school had their powwow, and we lent our flags from BMCC to the school for the powwow. And so it's the day before graduation, and I'm like, Candace, did you grab the flags, or do we need to go get them still? She's like, oh, we still got to go get them. Here, take my car. So she tosses me her keys, and I'm like, okay, cool. Which, for the record, I do want to note that the flags totally would have fit in my little Jeep, because they were not like 6 foot or 7 foot flagpoles. So anyway, so I wander out and I get in this car and leave. And I'm like, it's a nice day. It's one of the first nice days that we've had, because winter just felt like it was holding on for, dear life. So I'm just driving. It's really nice out. I'm just living my best life. And I get to the school and I go and see Dylan. And he's like, "Oh, here, I'll help you carry out the flags." So we're walking out and we're carrying flags and flag stands. And he's like, "Oh, did you get a new car?" I'm like, "No, this is clearly Candace's car." And he's like, "No, it's not." But that's like kind of the relationship that we have. Like, so I'm like, "Oh my God, stop. It's Candace's car, whatever." And he walks to the back of the car and was like, "Nope, no tribal plate. Definitely not Candace's car." I was like, "Oh no. Oh, hurry up, throw that flag in there. Now I'm scared." So I get in the car and I call Candace right away. And I was like, "Candace, I think I stole someone's car." And she's like, "What?" And then she starts laughing. And that's like kind of the relationship that like everyone has with Candace. That's just who she is. She's just very loving and very humorous. And she's like, what? No, you didn't. And I'm like, yes, I did. I, I stole someone's car and I'm looking around and there's pictures of kids and I don't recognize them. Like, oh my God. And she's just really laughing. And I was like, okay, I need you to stop laughing and I need you to go down to the front desk and find out if they know that this has happened. And so they sent someone down and I'm like, I'm not okay. Oh, I'm like having a little meltdown on the phone. So that I'm like, okay, I gotta go by. So I hang up and then I'm just like driving and questioning my whole existence as this all the whole episode happened in under 30 minutes. Um, so I get back, I like carry in the flags and some of the flag stands, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. So I had taken Heather's car, my coworker, um, and it's worth noting her and Candace drive very similar vehicles, but Candace's is blue, not black. Heather's is black, and Heather's is a little shorter. Candace's is longer. Anyway, so Heather's super chill about it. Was like, "Oh, this is so funny." After I found out that my car wasn't actually stolen, that like it was just a coworker, it was whatever. So she's telling me her side of the story and was explaining how because she had just picked up her kids from school and she was back at the office for just a few. And in the meantime, I jump in her car and steal it. And her son was like, "Oh, your car just left the parking lot and turned left." So she's explaining that she called her husband, was asking if he swapped cars, and he said no. So then she calls uh, her stepfather, who is also the president of the university, and was like, "Hey, are you pranking me? Did you steal my car?" And he's like, "No." Uh, and he had just gotten back from work travel, so he zipped to campus. So she calls Baymo's police department and was like, "Hi, I'd like to report a stolen car." Except she's not laughing, she's crying. I found that out from a few other people. And so she's on the phone. Someone from upstairs comes down and was like, "Oh, Josh has your car. Haha." And so she was like, "Oh, I guess my coworker has it. Never mind." So meanwhile, like when I'm going through it, I'm like, "Oh, the cops are gonna be there. I'm going to jail today." Like, oh no. Um, so yeah, so Heather explained that like when she was fully written on the situation, uh, that she thought it was really funny. So
Oh, we'll also add for anyone who's listening to this. So Josh works at Bay Mills Community College, and he's also a former tribal judge.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I work in the college. I was an elected judge for our community for a few years. Yeah. So this is just extra rich.
So
And then
imagine this headline: former tribal judge steals car.
so Candace, so I get back to the college and I walk upstairs and then so the other woman who's in the video with the awesome fanny pack is Miss Suzanne Grace Mills Carrick. And I walked by her office door and was like, "I stole Heather's car." And she's like, "What? No." And I was like, "Yeah." And then just kept walking down the hallway. So she followed me to Candace's office where she recorded me throwing myself onto her floor and then dramatically recounting the whole story. Um, I knew Candace was recording, but I didn't know she was going to post it that night. So then, like the next day, it's graduation, and not everybody knows. And I actually really thought Dwayne was going to work it into our president, Dr. Bedell. I was worried he was going to work it into some of his remarks, which I'm so thankful he didn't. Um, and our new cultural director came up and asked me, "So I heard a rumor," and I was like, "Wait, did you hear rumor or did you hear gossip?" And he said, "I heard a rumor," and I was like, "Wrong. You heard gossip because it was true."
Oh, okay. We're live. Have a good night. So sorry, Joshy. Someone came in. Keep going. So Dr. Bedell did not add this to the graduation.
Yes. Did not. Hang on, I just have to. I'm going to turn my video off momentarily. There's a powwow committee meeting that I'm missing, but I was previously engaged.
Tell them I'm sorry for making you miss powwow committee meeting. Can I make it up to them by coming up as a vendor this year?
I do believe vendor registration is currently closed.
Okay.
So you could email the powwow committee and we'll see if everyone shows up. So yes, Dwayne did not work the remarks into he did not work that situation into his remarks for graduation. One of my other coworkers, Serena, was like, "Oh, hey, the keys are out in the truck if you want to take it for a spin." It's like, "Oh, stop." Oh. And then fast forward, so this was Thursday and then Friday was graduation. That Sunday, our youth council was doing a fundraiser where they were pumping gas for customers of Baymart before it closed. I was just there holding a sign and I showed up with my bullhorn because that's what I do. And someone walked up to me and was like, "Man, I can't believe the police department's letting you out here pump people's gas." I was like, "I'm so sure." I'm like, "Plus, I'm not pumping gas, I'm just holding the sign." And they were like, "Oh, it's okay. That happened to me. No big deal. It's funny." And so I just wanted to highlight that it's just super resi. Not many places do people just leave their keys in their car. And I understand how it all happened, and I'm not being judgy at all because I live up here too. So I totally get it. Um,
It is
but
not a weird thing if you're watching this and you don't live on the res. Everyone leaves their key in the car. Like when I moved to
yeah,
the city, I had to learn to keep locking my car. Like it was something. It took me months to get in the habit of if I'm not in the car, it has to be locked. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Well,
just
and
not.
what really comes to mind for me too about the leaving the keys in the car is some of those elder Pelcher men will go somewhere and leave their car running. Like they're just gonna, leave in a hurry or something. And pull
They're
up
like,
"Oh,
"How
here, your car's running." And they're like, "Yeah, I know."
yeah, they'd be like in the office for hours and like, hey, your car's running. I know. Like, what, dude, what are you? Okay. There was probably someone hanging out in the car because they don't want to come inside. It was actually one of the elder Pelcher men when my car got broken into. When I was down here in the city, I went up north for a funeral, and that was the day my car got broken into, and they stole. I could tell they weren't native because I had a belt and a ribbon skirt and some beadwork in the back. They didn't take that. But I had this really nice pair of binoculars that I would keep in the middle console so that, if I was driving and I saw an eagle, I could look at it, right?
Mhm.
I mean, pull over first. I'm not driving using binoculars. But I could pull over and look at birds. And so I had this little nice little pair of binoculars in the middle console, and that's what they stole. They found nothing else of value in my car. Which says a lot about me, I think. Um, but yeah, and then I went up north for the funeral, and then I ran into one of the elder Pelcher men. I was telling him about it. He's like, "Ellie, you're in the city now. You're not out on the res. You gotta lock your car every time."
Oh.
I know. I know. And it was,
Hmm.
I had gotten the leash out of the car and locked it, but I think I was walking Spark and I was too far away. Like it didn't lock all the way. So yeah. So yeah, this is the grand news from Ganoji Conning recently is Joshy accidentally took someone else's car. So
I had a childhood friend reach out, who I went to elementary and middle school with, and texted me out of the blue and was like, "I hear you're stealing cars now." And I was like, "Well, I was like, well, life in the UP gets a little boring sometimes."
so it's that or the swingers club to keep you you know,
Yeah. Well,
keep
I guess
life
I could take up
interesting.
snowmobiling, I suppose, but
Oh, that's no,
it's
no.
an expensive hobby.
It is. I mean, Grand Theft Auto is far more interesting. Probably less dangerous too. Don't quote me on that. I have no stats on that. If you're watching this, Josh is working on a finger weaving project. Do you want to talk about that, Joshy?
Sure. This is going to be a keychain, because I mostly large projects overwhelm me. And I just need to spend more time weaving, and I've been really, really bad about that lately. I even made a TikTok where I like posted like 2 videos and haven't gone back to it. So that's on my list of things that I gotta start getting right. Anyway, so this is the keychain. I used like a D-ring, and then just started weaving, and this is where I'm at. Um, it's likely going to be a very long keychain, so it's not. This is not a keychain of subtlety.
Um,
I just, oh, go for it.
it's just like acrylic yarn, right?
Yeah, I just kind of paired some acrylic yarn that I had, and I was like, oh, yeah, green, that looks good. And then after I started weaving, I was like, oh, dang, these are Packers colors.
That was I was like, are you making like a keychain for a Packers fan? That was the first thing I saw. Like,
That
which
was not the intention, but that's the reality.
for anyone who knows me and is watching, I hate sports. So that's how ubiquitous the Packers are that I recognize their team colors. Okay. And especially football. I can't stand it. Um, yeah. If you're
The
one
only, oh, you go.
go, were you gonna make a joke about football?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say that I've never really watched like a whole football game, and I was in like the marching band. Um, and when I was at CMU, I famously never attended any sporting events until my final year. They were unveiling, they did like a special little native section on the wall of the event center. And my picture got up on the wall, so I was invited. And I was there for pla- uh the I don't I don't remember if it was the Pledge of Allegiance anyway. For all the like opening things, and then they did the tip off. And I was like, okay, gotta go, bye.
Yeah, I went to MSU for my undergrad and I went to half a football game in my freshman year and half a football game in my senior year. Left both after the band played because I was mostly there to see the band. Did have season hockey tickets for a while though. Got into MSU hockey. Never watched a basketball game. You know, it, I do like going to baseball games. Baseball is really fun to watch live in person. Watching baseball on TV is just egregiously boring. By the way, when they did that like thing with the native exhibit in the athletics hallway at CMU, like those little glass things are like they poke out a little. And
Mhm.
because of that, that's why they couldn't let vendors in that hallway anymore for powwow, because those glass poked vendors out a little too far, like into the hallway. So the fire marshal, there wasn't like enough space for an emergency exit. So the fire marshal put the kibosh to
Mm.
vendors in the hallway. So, which I think is a good example of like, oh, we're going to do something for the Native community, right? We're going to like put up this exhibit, which is really cool. Not knocking it. It's awesome. I do enjoy walking by it. But because of how it was designed and it like added that little depth to the hallway, it kind of messed up powwow layout.
Yeah. That's,
Our
yeah.
actions have unintended consequences. So it is like almost the end of the day in the shop, and Sparky is like trying to herd me to leave. He does this where he wants me to leave. I don't know how he knows it's closing time.
He secretly understands you and then just pretends like he doesn't.
You know, he faked sleeping yesterday. We got burritos. And he was like dead asleep in the front room. And my helper threw her burrito, like she ate it and then like threw the like wrapper in the trash. And
Hmm.
sometimes he digs for that, but he didn't dig. He was like asleep. And then I kind of forgot about it. And I also went to the back room. We were working on shipping orders. And then we hear this like rustling. And so we come out here and there's Sparky digging out the burrito wrapper from the trash. Like he had fake sleeping. And as soon as we were gone, he started digging through the trash.
Now's my time.
Now's the time. I think he needs a walkie though. Josh, do you think you can carry talking to the people for a minute?
I'll do my very best.
I can't tell if you're being humble or fake humble.
I'll do what I can. Um,
We have some comments on the YouTube from Ariana. She said she's making some deer antlers sliced earrings with different shapes of purple beads. Ooh, that sounds fun. And she
ooh,
can
fierce.
tell the time by smell. Okay, that explains some things. Because Sparky definitely knows the time. He also knows, like, so we're open 1 to 6 Wednesday and Thursday, then 1 to 7 on Fridays. And then Saturdays, we're here 10 to 3. We have like a totally different schedule on Saturdays. And he sometimes knows, like, he somehow knows closing time on Saturdays too. So he does this like at 5:30 during the week, but on Saturdays at 2:30, he starts herding me towards the door. And I'm just like, dude, you are clever. You are a clever little guy who needs my help finding his toys when I throw them. So, all right. I'm going to take him out real quick, Joshy. I will be back. And then I will talk
Okay.
about my project.
Hmm. So, yeah, that was quite a wild ride on the other week with the accidental car taking. And I am a new employee at BMCC, so I was completing all of my orientation paperwork, and I have to read policies, and I had to take some quizzes. And some of that was around the risk management side of things and incident reporting. And so um, I had left around like it was like 3:45 to go get the flags. And then I was back by like 4 o'clock, 4:10, 4:05. So then I'm like, oh my goodness. So then I messaged our risk manager and I'm like, hi, who should fill out the incident report? Me or Heather? So it was funny, but then because it was resolved and there wasn't really an issue, because I was a friend, I'm a colleague, it all got cleared up. So it's like, oh, I was starting to think through. I'm like, oh, how would I write about this? Um, but yeah, so I'm the recruiting specialist at Bay Mills Community College these days. As Ellie pointed out earlier, Bay Mills Community College is a TCU, a tribal college or university. Was chartered by Bay Mills Indian Community in 1984. Um, Last year, we celebrated 40 years of higher education. Um, Things of note, BMCC has a lot of cool programs, and uh, BMCC waives tuition for federally recognized tribal members and first generation descendants. So if I know that it's deeply summer elsewhere, but here in the north, it feels like we're just starting to leave springtime. But in spring and fall is when everyone makes all their changes in their lives. So if you're on the lookout for educational programs that can help give you some translatable tools and skills, um, check us out. We're at bmcc.edu. So a little more about me. I grew up down in central Michigan, as I said earlier. I grew up among the Saginaw Chippewa community, but now I live up north among my tribe and my people, and I get to work for our tribal college now. But Ellie and I go way back. I think we went to preschool together. Um, and we've just kept in touch. Ellie did mention this in her introduction too, that we have talked for a very long time about doing a podcast. My life just keeps falling apart in unique ways. So it's felt very out of grasp. But after this most recent story, because I called her and was like, Ellie, I have stories I need to tell you. And she's just cracking up and was like, hey, join let's do a YouTube live for Beading with the BeadKwe. And I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I got busy weaving and I couldn't tell that you couldn't see anymore. Apologies. I learned finger weaving first from Wasan. She's an elder from LTBB. Um, she lived down in central Michigan for a while too, and that's where I first met her and first learned finger weaving from her. Um, oh, um, anyway, so I learned finger weaving from Wasan. I do need to zip down and go visit her. I haven't seen her in a long time, and um, it's that time. I gotta go start making the rounds and going and visiting. Um, I received a request for me to talk about Tabitha, who is my best little buddy and my largest arch nemesis, weighing in at around 5 pounds. She's just the cutest but most vicious, and I do say that tongue in cheek. Chihuahua mix. I think she's also part rat terrier. That's been a recent realization for me. She is just a little spitfire. Um, you heard her barking earlier. You don't hear her now. I think she's laying down and pouting because I'm not sitting down and petting her. Uh, Just having to check my notifications. I did previously mention this. I am skipping a powwow committee meeting because I had scheduled this first, which is a bummer. So apologies. And Ellie also sends her apologies for taking me away from the powwow committee this evening. I guess another thing that I'd say about Tabitha is when I put her out on her little lead, she's smart enough to know how to slip out of her harness, pretty much whenever she wants to. Um, but with all of her freedom, she doesn't, wander the neighborhood. She stays right in the yard and runs to the fence because I have a neighbor with 3 large dogs, and she just desperately wants to fight them every single day. So she'll just go stand at the fence because with her lead, she's still like 5 feet away from the fence. So she'll just go there and stand and then breathe menacingly through the fence, in hopes to get their attention and get them to come over and try and argue with her through the fence. And now that it's nice out, she's been doing that a lot more. She's too smart for her own good.
Hi, Josh, you were back.
Woohoo!
You just had to sniff around like the whole, little. We're like where 2 strip mall plazas meet.
Yeah, a lot of sights and a lot of smells.
Well, there's multiple restaurants. One of them had their kitchen door propped open with a bear keg, so he was trying to check that out. Speaking of which, if you hear a beverage cracking open, that's my LaCroix.
Fancy.
Well, I'm a bougie city Indian now.
Who drinks tap water in the city?
Oh, I mean, yeah.
I did talk about Tab while you were away. I will occasionally, when I bring Tab out to the res, I'll be like, come on, let's go laugh at the res dogs. We live in town.
For the record, if you're listening to this, we're just teasing each other and ourselves. We don't think living in town or in the city makes us.
Well, I will say living on the res is in many ways, it's more convenient because there's such strong support system and it's harder to live in town. But
Yeah.
I can get pizza delivery in town, so
it's back and forth. Like, oh yeah, I was walking Sparky like, oh, I've been kind of like depressed the last couple of weeks, and I really want a good meal. And I've also been craving this dive bar on the west side that has like some interesting tater tot creation. So I was like, maybe I'll go there tonight. It's a nice night. And like it's awesome. Like I have all these restaurant options and things I could do tonight even, and I work till 6. But then also I don't have cousins who can like run me food and medicine if I get a migraine. Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could I get a next day appointment for an eye doctor? I have a pickup order from Lowe's. It'll take me 5 minutes to pick up on my way home. Great. But, you lose
Mhm.
that sort of support system. So, it's a matter of what you need and what you can handle. So if you're watching this is my current beading project. This is the panel for the All Michigan Shop Hop, which is a quilt shop extravaganza that runs June 1st through July 31st in the state of Michigan. There's 102 participating shops, including Bead and Powwow Supply. If you're interested in participating, you can purchase the All Michigan Shop Hop magazine at powwowsupply.com or in our shop. We also have this fabric for purchase starting available starting June 1st. Right now it's out for display in the shop, but we can't sell it until June 1st. And so this is thing being out like in outside the res amazes me, because they do this in like 10 states. It's a marketing company. Like, this is what this company does. They organize shop pops. Like, and
That's cool.
multiple people work there. It's amazing. Like, from a business side, I have to pay to participate, and I recoup some of those costs by selling the magazines. But also you're recouping costs by making sales. You're reaching a whole brand new segment. So there's that, but it just like astounds me, like, wow, there's this company that does this. And like, then I like think about like powwow committees, right? Are like all
Mhm.
volunteer. Like, all of Indian country is run by like 9 people. Um,
Mhm. Officially.
it is, it's actually a lot more than that, right? And it's a lot of us making a lot of little effort, but then also a lot of the work is handled by a handful of people.
Yeah.
And like, and meanwhile, like off the res, there's like companies that like help you plan things. Um, yeah, it just astounds me. Anyway, so this is the panel for the quilt shop fabric. Ooh, and I keep forgetting that it's not a super tight weave compared to what I'm used to beading on, and I need to make an extra big knot. And so, you know, if you're familiar with quilting, a panel is like a big piece, and it's usually the centerpiece of a quilt project. There's a bunch of other fabrics that go with this. They're Michigan themes, sort of 4 seasons. And the shops are encouraged to make like a project with the fabric. So because we're not strictly a quilt shop, we're a bead shop and sort of generalized crafts. You know, we especially cater to the Native community. So I wanted to make a project that reflected that. So what we're doing is beading. These are Charlotte beads, I think dark aqua transparent AB. And I'm beading on the rivers, the major rivers of Michigan. So you can see, I'm not even sure. Do you know which river this is I'm working on right now, Joshy? Is it Saguenay? This could be my motherland river.
I do not know. I'm not good at
Yeah, yeah. So,
rivers.
okay. This is the Kalamazoo that I'm pointing at now. This is the Grand. This over here, it's kind of covered by the hoop. That's the Muskegon, Manistee. I'm not sure which one this is right now, but this is the Saginaw River Valley system. The Saginaw River system here, this is the Chippewa River, and then they join and they flow into Saginaw Bay. So this is the last river system I have to bead on the project. I started down Southeast Michigan, worked my way up, finished the UP this weekend. I used a river systems map that was public on MSU and sort of like had that on my phone. So I'm like holding it like this and had the marking pen and sort of freehanded it like I would draw vines for like a floral project. So this is not strictly accurate. This map is not intended for navigational purposes. But it's a sort of project, and then we're gonna add some other things to it and make it into a wall hanging to have in the shop. So if you follow us on social media or subscribe to our newsletter or follow us on pavosupply.com, we will surely share you what we're doing with this project. We have big plans for it. So yes,
I
that
think
is,
it looks really cool.
thank you. Oops, I did a little oopsie there. I've gotten lots of compliments on it, which I appreciate. I was also like, I was not sure what to do with this. And also like, it was not last week. I was beating the West Michigan River, so the Grand River, Muskegon, Manistee, all that. I did not appreciate how long those rivers were until I had to stitch them on with beads.
Mhm. And I wonder what the scale is. Like, I mean, obviously it's not super technical, but like, I wonder what the scale would be, like how long each bead would represent of like the length of a river.
Right. This sounds like a fun math project for any high
So,
school students who are wandering into the shop this year.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I think that's a good question. I was wondering that too as I was putting the finishing touches on the Grand River. Um, and I sort of freehanded this using like a, small screen version of like a Michigan map. And I was like,
Mhm.
what if like I just put the beads in the wrong spot and like downtown Grand Haven just like flooded because I moved the beads too wrong. Like, oh no, what if I'm messing with Kalamazoo? Also, part of me saving the Saginaw River system for last is because I'm a Saginaw Ojibwe. So I was saving the best river system.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm. Mm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have a friend who is very much into using ChatGPT and I was like, what if I was telling her the Grand Haven story and she's like, she put it into ChatGPT and she's like, I'll have it write a story of it. I was like, oh, okay. And so it was it was cool, but it was also kind of, not a real story. It's a ChatGPT story.
Yeah.
Oh, and to hold my beads in, I'm using another project that I started recently. I have, bead mats and things at home, but I tend to lose them or have so many projects going on that getting my bead mat out would have entailed moving another project. And I didn't feel like doing that. So I'm using the back end of this embroidery project because the hoop makes a good bead holder. And once I pick these beads up, I will show them. One of my graduate professors actually made this embroidery design. She knew she could mend it.
Um, Also circling back to my inadvertent carjacking story. Um, that was on my 30th day of employment with BMCC. So it's been a joke of like, wow, what a bang for the first month. Wow.
So, like, were you still on probation and, committing grand theft?
Um, I would like to recognize my Fifth Amendment rights.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, what a fun, like, HR. Oh.
Yeah.
So on my res, two of my mom's cousins live next door to each other in one of the little, cul-de-sacs.
Mhm.
And they both have yellow houses.
Uh-huh.
And they're next door to each other. And every time I went to visit one of them, I would go to the wrong one's house. Every time. Not once have I ever gotten it right. And they've lived there like literally my entire life.
Um, so it was funny because a few weeks ago, and it was like a week or two prior to like my incident, I was recounting a story of I had went to a bead store in the Northwest with my sister Cheyenne, and she drove a very distinctive little car. So after we got the beads, we jumped in the car, like we were getting ready to leave. I like literally opened the door, sat right down and closed the door, and was like, "Oh wait, this is not Cheyenne's car." So we hopped out, and it was actually her aunties. They had driven over from another part of the state to that store, and we'd see them inside, and it was their same car. Like just it was a distinctive. So I was like, ah, ha, 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 ha. And then, a few days later, a few weeks later, it was like that, but worse.
That is funny. That is funny. Oh, Ariana said, I'm biased for the Muskegon River because I'm from Muskegon, but my homeland river is Manistee. I mean, that's kind of like all the Little River folks are in that sort of valley there.
Mhm.
Ariana, are you the one who did the Petoskey stone beadwork for the state of Michigan thing? Remember when someone was doing that on Instagram, Joshy? They were like, they had all the states and then you added beadwork.
Yeah, it was like Bead Your State challenge.
Yeah. There is a major river that I couldn't fit on this panel, and I don't know the name of it, but it's down here in Pokagon land, and it kind of dips into Indiana. I think it flows out at St. Joseph, and it sort of starts here, but as you can see, this panel has like, things was not designed by a Michigan person because they didn't put the cars by Detroit. I didn't want to beat over the cars, and like here I skipped the Grand River. I didn't want to beat over the apple blossoms. So there's a major river here that I didn't add because I would have had like a little bit there and I just didn't want to try to, yeah. No, Ariana said that was not her. Oh, okay. I think it was another A name though. I'm glad you're hanging out with us crafting while we're just chatting. This is Res Life. So anyway, sorry Pokagons that I didn't get your river on here. I do have the Kalamazoo. Most of it. So that's I did these ones first and then I started Kalamazoo and the Grand and I was like, these rivers are so long. Like I said earlier, I've been having kind of a rough week. Are you still around, Joshy?
Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, man, maybe I muted myself.
I was like, I was wondering.
I'm just weaving.
Just weaving away. I'm fine with hanging out, but Sparky's looking at me like, Mom, why are we still here? So I don't know how long. Do
I,
you get
I mean, I have finger woven 1000% more today than I have in the last 3 weeks. So I feel like I'm sufficiently happy with all the progress I made.
I like dedicated. I was like, I'm saving this last river system for this. I spent a lot of our time adjusting my camera and then checking my invoice of the bead shipment. But if you were watching earlier, we got some new Delica. We got one new Delica colors and some restock stuff and some new tools. But yeah, it's much easier to bead this at this cutting table in the shop than it is to work on at home, just because of the way
Mm,
I have to. It's so big, I have to hold it, like embrace myself against the table. I don't really have a space at home where
mm.
do that. So the little dog may have to just
I'm
not
showing
be.
myself one more time. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. That's Joshy and his little dog.
Yeah, here's Tabitha. Let's see. She's not interested in standing on the podium. She's not interested, but she's just real little. I mean, she's not teacup size, but she's very little.
She's pretty tiny. I've had cats bigger than Tabitha.
She, she doesn't weigh very much. She's got longer legs than people imagine.
She's pretty tall. She's like taller than Sparky. Sparky is
She,
a lot bigger in weight, but he has short little legs.
she was laying down in my bed just resting. Ugh, what a hard day she's had.
Hmm. Yeah, Sparky too. He has a little bed in the shop. It's by the size 12 beads. So if you ever buy size 12 beads from us, Sparky has been guarding them and keeping them safe for you. Yeah.
But I'm okay wrapping up if you
Okay,
are.
we can wrap up. We're gonna sign off. Thank you for listening to our stories, everyone, and hanging out with us. Joshy, we may have to do this again at a
Yeah.
different, so you don't have to play hooky to the powwow committee meetings.
Well, in just over 3 weeks, 4-ish weeks, powwow will be happening and over, so then I'll have a lot more freedom.
Freedom! Ah, yes, powwow season is upon us. Please, place your orders, and give us some time to get them to you, because that happens, yeah. So, anyway, thank you all. We're gonna post this on the YouTube channel. We will do this again sometime. If you're like, wow, that was kind of boring, yeah, welcome to native life. It's kind of boring sometimes. Till it's not, then it's real exciting. Right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. All right. Bumma P.
Mama
Kinagoya.
P.